LeetCode Problem number 17, letter combinations of a phone number. So this problem gives us a string containing digits from 2 to 9, and we have to return all possible letter combinations that the number could represent. And we can return it in any order. So the digits to letter is like telephone buttons, right? What you see here. So that means something like if we were to have 2 and 3, since 2 there's A, B and C, and 3 there's D, E, F. So basically we are getting all of the combinations. So we have A, D, A, E, A, F, B, D, B, E, B, F, and then C, D, C, E, C, F, right? So we have to get all of the combinations. And honestly, this problem might look a bit scary at the start, but the approach I had was pretty straightforward in a way. So first thing first, I will need to have a map, right? So this map will basically map out from the digits to its respective string. For example, 2 will be ABC, 3 will be DEF, so on and so forth, right? So a thing to note is that some numbers have more than 3 characters in the string. For example, for 9, there is WXYZ, and the rest are only 3 in length. Okay, so here I have a result, a vector of string. This is what we'll be returning, and a string called current. So this current is what I'll be using to push into the result. And like I mentioned, this result is what I will be returning. Okay, so first thing first, we check whether or not digits is equals to an empty string. If it is, we can just return a empty vector. Otherwise, we will begin the recursion. So like I mentioned, this recursion part isn't too complex. For starters, this if statement will only be triggered if our index, in this case our index is 0, but if our index reach the end of the digits, meaning that we've iterated through the string. So let's say our digits is 2 and 3, and then result empty vector current empty string. Okay, index is 0, starting from 0 over here. And if our index, like I mentioned, reaches to 2 for this case, then it will just push back. For now, we can just ignore. I'll come back to this later. Alright, so we take a look at the characters of the digits we are working with. So here, we start from here, digits index, so digits I is 2. And from the map 2, we are getting A, B, and C, right? So I'll put here chars equals to A, B, and C. And then we enter a for loop. How do I do this? Let me do it like this. Right. So I is equal to 0. And then we push back the first character of char, which is A, to our current. We enter the recursion. So for recursion, I'll do this. And then increment index by 1. So index now is 1. This is ignored first. And we look at the chars. Since we're looking at 1 now, and now we're looking at 3. So 3, it will be D, E, F, right? I is equals to 0. We push back D into current, and then we recurse again. When we recurse, index is equals to index plus 1, so 1 plus 1 is 2. And since our index has reached the end of the digits, then we push back the current, which is AD at the moment, into our result. So we're like this, right? Once that's done, we return. When we return, we exit here, we pop back. So pop back from current, which is the string, and then we increment I to 1, and now we are pushing back E into current. So like this, recurse again, index equals to 1 plus 1 is 2. We reach the end of the digit size, push back, exit, pop back, and then increment I is now 2. Now we're looking at F, recurse, index equals to 2. Right, sorry, we forgot to push back F into current. Then only recurse to 2. Since we're at 2, we push back AF into result. And you can see here we have already have the starting of A and then DEF, B, DEF, C, DEF, right? So once this is done, this will exit, right? And then I will increment one more time to 3. And since 3 is outside of our character's length, I'm going to pop back here. So we exit this for loop, we pop back, and then increment our I to now 1, push back B to current, and then we begin the entire process again, right? So chars now is the same, right? Chars is 1, 1 of 2 is 3, 3 is DEF. You can see all of it is the same. We're just repeating the same thing. 0, right? So push back D. Once that is done, recurse inside and then push back, right? Okay, then increment, this will change to E. I'm just gonna speed up here a bit because it's technically the same thing over and over again. And then once this hits 3, we exit this for loop, we pop back, like so, increment I to 2, and now we're looking at C. So we push back C, recursion, index is still 1, still looking at the digits of 3, and digits of 3 is DEF, and then basically we have the rest of the string coming out of result. Just gonna manually type it here. Once that is done, I equals to 3 here, exit this for loop, exit. When I increment again, this time it will exit from this chars, and then what happens is this recursion function will exit as well, and we return our result, which is over here, right? It's technically the same one as the one provided by the example. Okay, like I said, this solution of mine is pretty straightforward, and hopefully my explanation is sufficient. That's all I have to show. Thanks.